Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to this week's show. This is High Strangeness in the Liminal Abyss, and I am your show host, SHETAN NOIR. And as a continuation on from last week's show, we're going to talk about the rest of the Tucson Gem and Mineral shows. And tonight's show will focus on the Oracle Street shows, which is a bunch of different show venues on streets and side streets that start on Oracle Street and kind of branch off. So there are numerous warehouses um, right off of Oracle Street, and really you can spend the whole day doing all these shows. And the first building or street that we pulled onto had numerous warehouses, and it ranged from specimen pieces that were very affordable, very tiny quartz crystal point formations, which I did buy a couple of those, but I don't think they'll show up very well on screen. So I chose some other specimens to opal, just vendors with everything from red opal to white opal to pink opal. I did pick up some specimens of that I was very excited about. And then a lot of the dealers had what I want to call museum quality pieces. And I did get a lot of photography of those. And if you are a um, fan of mine, make sure you check out not only this show, but also Canine 3 and Me, which is my other travel series show, which I'll have more of the longer Tucson videos on, where I'm actually of where what I videotaped and took you on a tour through each of the stores. So a lot of these museum quality pieces are just that. They're pieces that either very high end collectors are going to be purchasing or museums are going to be purchasing, because while they're stunning and they're beautiful, um, their price tag is very high. Now, some of these pieces that I'm going to show you were what I considered to be moderately priced for what I was willing to pay. So this is a fluoride point. Of course, it's in greenish blue and those nice teal colors. It has it's very gemmy. It has a nice point to it, and I paid $35 for this one. Um, like I said, after the second day at the 22nd Street show, I got very good at bargaining for what I wanted to purchase, because I just wasn't going to pay the top dollar that I was seeing most of these vendors having. And really, they set the price to what they think it's worth, and that's not really what most people, what most buyers are willing to spend. So if you go, keep in mind that most of the vendors are pretty much expecting you to bargain with them on the price. And if something's set for $40, aim for 35 and see if you can negotiate them down to 35, especially at the end of the shows, um, which is like the last week there, because that's one less rock or box or whatever that they have to pack up and drive back or fly back or transport back to wherever they may live from. And at the end of the day, every little dollar, every little penny counts when you're talking about sales. So they would rather make a sale and give somebody a $5 discount than have to pay, you know, to have that transported. So definitely look for your bargains and where you can negotiate on prices. Now, those museum quality pieces, I am sure you could negotiate, maybe get $100 off here or there. But when I'm seeing price tags of $500 for a specimen that is about that big, I kind of have to question that, because even when it's a spectacular piece, the value of a stone depends on what somebody is willing to spend on it. And that goes for fossils also. Um, if anybody's seen that series Dino Hunter, they they talk about in different episodes how they have museum quality fossil specimens in their warehouses, in their storage barns, that they have priced according to what estimators have told them to sell this. And they'll send it to auction and it doesn't sell because museums or private collectors cannot afford the price tag that's on it. So really, when you're looking at the value of something, of what somebody thinks it's worth versus what somebody is willing to spend on it, you have two different, avenues of thought there. Yes, it could very well be worth that amount of money, but am I going to spend $1,000 on a faceted cut diamond that is, smaller than my pinky nail, or am I going to go and get some very gorgeous um, cut stone faceted crystal um, for $2 a carat and walk away with five very nice sized faceted stones for $55? It just depends on what people are willing to spend and what your budget is. For me, I knew what my budget was. I knew what I was willing to spend. And I know that I am mostly looking at pieces for specimens for photography for my magazine, Rock Hound and Prospector magazine. Um, and with what I bought this year, that gives me, I do 4 quarterly issues. So that's 4 issues a year. And so as long as I have enough specimens to get me through this year, then that's what I want to focus on. Um, I don't really see, other than buying stuff that I might use for spell work or for um, personal enjoyment, I'm not really looking to buy museum quality pieces that are over, or that are thousands of dollars. Now, the only flip side of that is if I go collect them myself, which I'm still planning on going to Crater of Diamonds and Arkansas for crystal mining. I'm kind of looking at doing that for next November, when it cools off a little bit. Um, my trips this year, I have some cool stuff coming up in September. I'm aiming for Florida, and it's not really gemstones I'm going after, but shark teeth and shells. Oh yeah, you guys can expect to see some gorgeous stuff when I come back from that. But um, back to the specimens that I got. So this is a smoky quartz point. And this one, I believe I paid around $6 for. Now, this was from a vendor who, that's what he specialized in, was quartz. And he had the clear quartz, he had the smoky quartz, and he just had tables of it. Now this right here, this was another piece he had, and this is a strawberry quartz, which is it's a quartz with a rust staining in it. There's strawberry, there's tangerine, there's cherry. Just depends on how much rust oxide has penetrated into the quartz crystals, but it's a new variety of quartz crystal that is being marketed. So the Oracle shows, that's where you will find your museum quality pieces. Most of the vendors were fine with with photography and video. Um, it's always good to ask or look for signs that say, whether you can videotape or take photography. Um, if you want to get into photography, this is a really good way to exercise taking pictures and getting it right so you don't get any refraction from the glass, so that you're getting the right angle of the light on the piece. Um, is something that I challenge everyone to go do, because your photography will just be that much better. Now, once you finish with all the warehouses on that road, if you travel just about 2 blocks down Oracle Street, you will come to the Mineral and Fossil Showplace. And that is where they have a lot of fossil pieces. There was one vendor who had megalodon shark teeth that ranged from like the size of my hand, which is like 5 and 5/8 inches, to about 3 inches. And her price was, for one that was about the length of my hand, $100, which was very practical, because I have seen megalodon shark teeth of that size go from anywhere from $250 to $500. Once again, that's something that I would rather go out and collect myself. Hey, that's my dog man barking. Actually, my dog girl, Lily. Um, so they had lots of fossil pieces in there. Just really great stuff, ranging from prehistoric mammals like mammoths and mastodons, cave bear skeletons or short-faced bear skeletons, to your oceanic species, your trilobites, your shark teeth, your cephalopods, things of those nature. So that was a very good one to check out. And then just a little bit down the street from that was the Black Hills Institute. Um, they're like the very first shop that you would go, you would park in the back and then come up through and go to their shop first. And then they have like shipping containers for each one of their vendors. And so you just kind of walk up and down the rows going into the different shipping containers to see what people have for sale. And they had everything. And it ranged from fossils to meteorites to um, more shark teeth. There was a big tent that had a lot of different mineral vendors in there. Unfortunately, even though it was open to go into, not all the vendors were present, even though their products were there. So there was some stuff that I wanted to buy, but because the vendor wasn't there for me to purchase it from, it didn't come back with me. So I was not, able to buy it. So the Oracle Street Show, definitely something to check out if you are more into the museum quality pieces, or if you are into fossils and looking for pieces like that. So hopefully, if I go next year, I can go longer and add a couple more days and maybe hit some of the other shows that are there, because they have 45 shows in different areas there in Tucson from mid January to the first week and a half of February. So there are so many to see. And I think I want to say I probably saw about 50% of the shows that were there. And that right there was overwhelming in and of itself. Just all the different vendors and gemstones and trying to decide what pieces I could bring back and what I couldn't. Next year, if I go, I'm taking my truck, my big old pickup truck, and anything that I want, I can bring back as long as I can afford it. So until next week, you guys go out there and explore this world. Stay curious out there, and you never know what you will find. See you next week.